if it isn't who I think it is. A little birdie, a little bobber has told me somebody wants to know how to serve, how to absolutely slay, how to absolutely devour. Don't worry, my child. Mother is here to help. Today I'll be doing / teaching you how to do my everyday makeup. Although it's every third day, considering I have 3 looks and I switch them up. This is number 1. Number 2, I hope I added it in. It's just gray eyeshadow with a bit of darker silver. And number 3, which is the easiest, which is just smoked out eyeliner. Today, I will be showing you the power of proper silver on your eyes, not jewelry or nothing, so. But yeah, it's surprising how many people have been asking me to make this video / give them a tutorial / show how I do this look, which, like, guys, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. It's really easy. You just need to believe yourself and do it and try it out and see if you like it or not. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it could inspire you. I hope you watch it the whole way through, by the way, because I put effort into this. Spoiler alert, my phone dies during this. I have said this before, but as much as I don't look like a colorful person, you cannot tell me Hello Kitty isn't a legend. Also, I just put my hair back in a bun, and we're about to serve. So starting off, like I said, Catrice primer. This is the Aqua Splash Grip Primer. I prefer the previous packaging. I don't know why this seems like such a no-name brand look. It looks like something you'd get at Teddy. No shade, but yeah. Now I'm going to do the most influencer thing ever. It is gripping. It is very much gripping. Yeah. So, like I have done before, I go into my base with the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me Foundation in the shade 101. Yeah, 101, which is like pale ivory, because, do I even have to say it? This is surprisingly more my shade than any other shade. So, yeah. When doing the base, you shouldn't forget to do your neck. Just saying. I see it too often that there's a harsh foundation line, so at least do it like to half of the neck. It's less embarrassing, honestly. And now that you are done with the foundation, I am going to go in with my Essence Camouflage Plus in the shade 80. And I'm scraping at the sides already. I am unintentionally doing a project pan for this year, I guess. I mean, it's just not doing overconsumption. That's like the whole gist of it, and that's what makeup is for. Use it for everything. If you don't like a certain, I don't know, blush, use it as like an eyeshadow. If you don't like a certain lipstick, use it as blush, whatever. You can always find a way to use something, okay? And I usually do this kind of placement for my concealer because I think it looks very nice and flattering. And I just go in with a beauty blender and blend it out. Nothing special. I am so not used to this lighting. I'm much more used to having like one proper light turned on, not this like little tiny light that is burning my eyes. But the other light isn't good on camera. I still have eyeliner in my waterline. Whoops. And before we set the base, I do a little trick. Speaking of reusing makeup, I bought this contour from Trended Up. Didn't like it at all. So now I use it to draw on freckles. Don't blame me. I'm being creative, okay? So, for my freckles, I use a disposable little eyeliner tip, I guess. And I just dip it in if there's way too much on like here. Wipe it on the back of my hand. Really just dip the tip in. And you just place one freckle. Blend it out. I prefer to have like the bigger ones more blended out than the others. I like smaller ones more defined. Like, I think this just looks nicer than if it was like this dark, but this. It's freckles! They're supposed to look random! I'm gonna add a few to my nose. If I think like one of the freckles is just a bit too big, I just tap it out. Nothing to see here. And the thing about freckles, I just started noticing it here. If they're too big and a bit too blended out, it looks like your base is just really patchy when it isn't. It isn't, okay? But yeah, and now I'm going in trying to make a few smaller and darker ones. Now that we're done with our freckles, I use the Catrice Soft Blur Matte Setting Powder because I'm out of this one. I'm gonna try to get some more. I also have a new one. Pan project, I said, huh? And usually just use a triangle puff to set it, especially under my eyes. I tap it a little lower and then slowly move up to the eyes, not just go into the under eyes. Because I feel like then it can really get like really whoa. It can get really, I wouldn't say cakey. Creases! Right. I think that took a full minute for me to remember what creases are. It's so funny to me how me, as a person with an olive-ish skin tone, I hate the pink under eye thing. Like, joke's on you, every single other foundation looks pink on me, so been a trendsetter ever since I got makeup. But seriously though, I really don't get it. I feel like it only suits like a certain skin tone, and I don't mean this like, oh, only white people can pull it off. No, I mean it as in like if you're like me with an olive skin tone, it just looks like somebody slapped you or something. Only like certain people can pull it off, and I can't put my finger on it, but if you see it, you know what I mean. Now, the next step is doing bronzer, blush, and under eye brightener. And like I said, drugstore. We got Essence. Who would have thought? We have Revolution, my Pookie, who they removed from DM. Criminal. But then again, drugstore. Who would have thought? And then surprisingly Essence, which really, who would have thought? But yeah. And I'm going in with the matte bronzer, Sun Club matte. And I'm going in with the Essence Sun Club matte bronzing powder. Christ. And I just tap it off a little on the back of my hand before starting to use it. Now, I usually place it somewhere between where blush and contour would be placed. I don't really like contour. I feel like it, although I want to look a bit paler, I don't really want to look like I got sunburned or something. But I feel like contour just doesn't suit me because I have too much of a round face to pull that off. So I usually just use a bit of bronzer, and like here is like the peak of my cheekbone, so like where I put the highlighter. I'd put the blush here. My contour would go here. Wait, you can see it better here. My contour would go here. My blush goes here. So I put the bronzer right in between, if you understand what I mean. I also do put a tiny amount up on my forehead, although I have a small forehead, so I wouldn't even need to be doing that. Then for my nose contour, bronzing, I use the same bronzer, just a smaller brush, and I just go down, straight down my nose on both sides. But it's something interesting to me, and I'm gonna finish talking about bronzing, but just go underneath, and then I press it down a little and make a button nose shape, although I already have like quite a straight nose. But what I was about to say is about these purple essence brushes. What happened to them? Why are they so bad? Like, compared to the older essence brushes that I have, for example, these ones, they have like a rose gold part and then a plastic white part. These, in comparison, these are way too fluffy for my liking. I feel like, I don't know what happened. Also, this one that I use for my nose, I have to use it just for my nose because it's like really soft to the point where I can use it on my nose. If I use it on my eyes, I'm getting no pigment off. I'm getting no blending. I am just getting eyeshadow flung around my face. So, not the biggest fan of that. And also, what's the deal with like the rubber foundation one? Like, huh? Who thought that was a good idea? Okay. Now that I'm done with bronzer, I'm going in with the Revolution Blusher Reload in the shade Ballerina, or so I hope it is. It's a really nice cool tone pink. It's a really beautiful pink. I'm just so mad that we lost Revolution from Dan, but then again we got NYX. So I just pack it on, and then again. The camera isn't picking it up, but it's gorgeous. It is my one true love. I like to go even a bit underneath my eyes, almost touching my eye. And then, because I'm a person with round cheeks, and round cheeks on my face too, I genuinely smile and look where the apples of my cheeks are, and just go over the blush about halfway, not fully, but about halfway, because then we're gonna use the under eye brightener, which is gonna kind of tone it back a little. You'll see what I mean, okay? Like I said. Then using the Essence Brighten Up banana powder, I dip the same powder puff that I use for my under eye setting powder, which don't lynch me for that, please. Thank you. I just take a small amount and really place it underneath my eye, and then kind of tilt it so like it's going from this to almost this, just a tad bit onto my nose, not like fully, just right underneath, and you can already see the difference. Come on. And then I also kind of tap that out so it's not as harsh. And then if I think it's a bit harsh, as it is now, I just going with the same brush that I use for my setting powder and just lightly dust. There we go. And now that we're done with the base, I'm going to spray it with the Milani Make It Last Original. Okay. And a light spritz. Not a shower, a light spritz. We just want this base to set in and not like fully fixed, because we're still gonna put highlighter on. And that's literally the only thing. But you know what I mean. Now that the base is dry, I am going to get into my eyebrows. So then we can get into the eyeshadow, because not only are we going to shape the eyebrows, but we're also going to carve them out. And as we carve them out with the concealer, that's our base for the eyeshadow. Trust me. Hold on. And I'll be using the JN Beauty Skin Mousse. Here's where my creativity comes back. I will be using this. It looks really gray on camera, but in person it's a very cool brown. And I will be using that and an angled brush to just kind of fill in my brows, although they don't need that. They're stunning. I also usually use the brush to kind of shape my eyebrows, not fill them in, but almost kind of brush them into a certain shape, although I will be going over them with a brow gel. And here is the Catrice Super Glue Brow Styling Gel. I will be putting over these luscious babies. Then I usually just use my finger to kind of carve them a little. And I also use like the hand, not the handle, what is this, like this part of the product to also kind of shape them. Next, we are going in with my holy grail again. And that is the combo of Essence Concealer, a flat brush, and a concealer brush. Then we're going over that with a skin toned eyeshadow. Here's the thing about this makeup look. If it weren't for all the yapping I'm doing today, and like sometimes I have to do retakes while recording because I stumble over my words, but if it weren't for the yapping and if it was just me sitting down and doing my makeup, this would take me a maximum of 1 hour and a half. And that's really maximum if I have to go to the bathroom, if I want to cuddle my cat, if I have to like respond to messages between. That is what takes me 1 hour and a half to get ready with my makeup. But otherwise, I think the fastest I've done it was 45 minutes. Next, I go in with this palette. Reminds me, I hope I can find the photo, but it's this one lady at Walmart. She's been working for 35 years, and it's like something about, and it's like something along the lines of, they overwork her so hard she can't even smile. This is what my palette reminds me of. This is the Revolution Smokey Icon, yet again. And I go in with this shade, which you might be wondering, honey, where is the shade? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's supposed to be this shade. But in this palette, it's the pan shade. It's there, trust me, okay? You can already see what a difference a skin toned eyeshadow can make. The thing is, if you put a skin toned eyeshadow and not like a white eyeshadow for the base, the white kind of can make the makeup look a bit patchy when you're trying to really blend it nicely. But otherwise, I like to do this. Although I do go over it with a white. I feel like because this is such a medium tone, I can still darken it and lighten it. But if you're going to really light, you can darken it, but it's really hard to lighten it back up. So, yeah. And now that I've done the base, the first step isn't actually to place eyeshadow. It is actually using gel liner. I prefer gel liner in my waterline more than a pencil because I feel like it stays longer, and the pencil, although I do, it does happen when I yawn, my eyes get really teary and it just gets messy. I think the pencil fades way faster than the gel. You kind of have to get used to it with the gel or the pot, whatever. The pot. I mean, you really do have to get used to the pot eyeliner. I cannot say that with a straight face. Yeah, dude. Just gotta do the pot, man. For my eyeliner, I usually start with a Q-tip and just run it along my waterlines. I kind of place it right here on the beginning, close my eyes and lightly drag it. So not only did I get the eyeliner I've been wearing the whole day off, it also takes away any of the excess oils or maybe like tears you might have in your waterline, so it sits nicer. And then I go in with a very thin angled brush, and I start off with, surprisingly, not the eye closest to me, but the opposite eye, because if you do the other side before doing your dominant side, you can easier match this side to this side and this side to this side. You catch me? So I place my hand on my knee because I'm sitting crisscross on this chair. But I start off by taking a little less on the brush. Like I said, I'm gonna get close so you can see what I'm doing. I place it here, and I almost kind of blink, and when I blink, at the same time, I move my hand. So I don't know how to explain this. But that's just the inner corner. Otherwise, I usually apply it to like more of a side than the top, because when you're doing your eyeliner, you're not gonna be doing like that. No, you're gonna kind of be like tapping, almost smudging it on there, than actually like trying to apply it, because it's your waterline. And then the bottom lash line, I just put my pinky here, pull it down a little. Now this is exactly what I mean. You start off with the opposite side, because you can still match this side, the one closer to your dominant hand. And I love it how I usually nail my eyeliner, even at 5 a.m. when I'm still half asleep. I'm doing it like on camera for the first time. Don't even talk to me. Do not. Uh-uh. I have to kind of fix up my... Wait, is there a cat hair on this? What is a cat hair doing in my eyeliner brush? Now that I'm done with my eyeliner, I will be going in. I will be mostly using grays. Gray, black, silver. Those are the main colors I will be using, and also some white, but black, white, silver, gray. That is mostly it. And starting off, I usually would have went in to this Catrice matte, like this gray, but you can't see it on camera, but it's a bit brown. So I started recently using more of this gray shade than this gray shade. And I'm taking this simple brush, tapping it in. I tap a little on my hand, not only to get it into the brush evenly, but also maybe you can tap off some of the fallout. I'm like tapping it like this because then it gets on the floor and it becomes slippery. So if you tap it out on your hand, you can still dip back into it. And I usually start by almost connecting my lash line to like the outer part of my crease. And then I follow my crease like this. It's simple. I create almost like this wing shape because we will be going over this with black eyeshadow, and it's still easier to follow some kind of outline. And with the gray, you can still kind of try to erase it with like a close to skin tone. But if you go straight up with the gray, you can't, no, with the black, you can get it uneven, not the same angle, not the same intensity, not the same placement, and so on. So I kind of sketch it with the gray. As you can see, it is similar. It doesn't have to be identical. It's not supposed to be identical. I have two different eye shapes. I can't explain it, but I notice it. And now we're going to get into the black from the same Skin Muse palette, and I will be using the black, also known as Midnight Tease. Freaky as hell. And like I said before, this one has a lot of fallout compared to Catrice. So again, dip it in. This, you can see this is the assigned black brush. Tap it in. And then I usually start by starting with my lower lash line like this really outer corner, and following it up, because this is a flat brush, a rounded flat brush. I usually can connect it by putting it like this, not like this, really like this, trying to almost stamp on the shape that I want. Not really dragging it because that's already kind of blending it. I rather just press it on. No other way to explain. But then because I have somewhat hooded eyes, the thing is when I do my makeup, I do it like this. Then when I relax my face, as you can see, most of the black is gone. So I have to keep making sure that it stays nice, that it stays put, that it's nicely connected, that it's laying how I want it to be. And you just have to keep checking. There's like no cheat code around it, except for me, who knows my own face so well. I don't even have to think much. I already know where everything is supposed to be. So now, because I do not want to apply silver onto this skin tone, I will be going in with the Catrice matte palette, and I will be taking this also semi-flat brush, and I will be using the lighter gray now because it's going to be hidden anyway. And I will be taking it on, tapping it off. I didn't realize my phone died while recording. And I was having such a good yapping session. My phone died. I finished the gray on my eyes, touched it up with the black a little, had to find the charger, start the whole setup again that I'm doing right now, and I'm back to recording. So, how's your day going? Anyways, now that I'm done with putting the gray and the black on my eyes, I am going to go in with the same Revolution Smokey icon. But this time, I will be going into the silver. Trust me. Here's the thing about this silver. Do not get me started. This silver is truly magnificent. It is beautiful. It is... I don't think I can think of so many synonyms to describe it. Let me just show you instead, okay? I'll be applying it with my finger because the brush kind of doesn't lay it so nicely, but... Look at that. And then... Oh! Do you not see what I mean? This is the most gorgeous thing I have ever seen in my whole entire life. And I've seen Rhea Ripley live. Ow! So I usually apply the silver right up to my iris. I think this is the iris, not sure. Up to here. Because then, as you may have noticed, next to the silver is a black eyeshadow. And I usually dip... Also, this is like really shimmery black eyeshadow. So it's really pretty. And then I usually tap that one over the black we applied, then tap it a little into the silver over back to the black, so it creates a nice, beautiful, shimmery gradient. As you can see, I will never get sick of this. This... Get out! Like, if this isn't magnificent, I truly do not know what is. I don't know why my nose is so runny all of a sudden. So if you hear me going, please ignore it. Thank you. Now that I'm done with my little silver, I will go in back with more silver. Yeah, you think I was done with silver? I was so mad. Who's the laugher? I'm the laugher. I'm the happiest laugher.
Ha! Guess who's the laugher now? Me! I'm the laugher!
Anyways, so now I'm gonna take my favorite, all-time favorite, Catrice Space Glam Silver Liquid Liner. Trust me with this, okay? We already placed a little, actually I'm gonna put on a little more black because then it comes to a nicer contrast. I take it about to halfway and then connect it with the wing that was already connected to the bottom eyeshadow. I'm not good at explaining this, am I? Now we go in with the liquid silver. And you'll see what I mean when this is as beautiful. Almost as beautiful as the silver here, but you're gonna see the difference on my eyes. If you say you don't see a difference, you are a big fat liar. Because that is such a strong shine. And by the way, I used to line the upper silver with this silver for a decent period, and then I stopped doing it because it wouldn't be even. But that is so reflective. Now that I'm done with the silver, I mean, it's already kind of drying, but I think we can add a bit more of a dimension. And with that, I mean, we're gonna put white eyeshadow underneath my brow. Again, this is how I usually do it. I really like the heavy contrast of it. As you can see, I think it really kind of deepens the black, brings out the eyebrow. It doesn't really suit everyone, but I do it. And this is my makeup. Again, just like in the clown video, which you should actually go and watch. But this is my makeup and I do it however I want to. So, okay. Then because I added so much white, I'm gonna go in with a fluffy blending brush and just blend out the black a little so it isn't as sharp. We still want this like almost cat eye shape, as you can see, like almost like wing, but we don't want it to be too sharp. And you just blending it like this. As you can see. Then I go in with my NYX Jumbo Pencil. I think this is the shade Cottage Cheese. It's the shimmery white one. And after this, we're going to go over with the Catrice little shimmery white eyeshadow. It's really reflective, as you can see. And yeah, I just do my inner corner. Hold on, I'm going to get... I usually just do a little pointy shape. I don't really round it out. It's literally just, you know. And then with the white, that I also, when I apply just the white eyeshadow, I kind of like to connect it into the silver. So it's just a nice gradient from the white to the silver to the black. And then we're gonna also put this Catrice right here, right where we placed the white. I don't know why I like my whole eye to be shimmering and shining, but you already know what I mean when I say it's C-U-N-T. Okay? Stunning. Now that I'm almost done with my eyes, I just need to add mascara. But before that, my last steps are lips. Before that are mascara / lashes, if I have to glue them on. Before that is setting spray. And before that is highlighter. So the highlighter is the last step. And I will be doing so. And my go-to highlighter is eyeshadow. My god, do I love using eyeshadow for random shit. And this is the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells tiny palette. I usually use this champagne gold on my nose and then blend it in with a bit of like this cool toned pink for my cheeks. So, yeah. And because we already contoured our nose to be kind of a button shape, I don't make like a dot here. I make kind of a line. You'll see, like so. I think it just sits so much better than just a dot. Then when we're done with everything powder, everything liner, everything except the lips and mascara, you should know this by now. Milani. Again. This time it can be a bit heavier and we're gonna mostly focus on the eyes. One thing. Do not open your eyes while waiting for this to dry. You will it all up. And I know from experience, so listen to me. Now that my setting spray has dried, I'm going in with the Essence Get Big Waterproof Mascara. And I like to go with the waterproof one first because then I'm gonna go over it with the Vamp by Pupa. Because this one is really volumizing and this one really holds the curl when I do my lashes. So, yeah. And now, the other mascara. As you may or may not see, you have to do a little touch-up. Preferably, I just go in with the teeniest amount of concealer. As you can see, literally the smallest dot you can think of, that you can even see. Take a concealer brush and just... as if nothing even happened. And now, for the lips. I really like cool tone brown lip liner, which may or may not be eyeliner. And I'm just gonna lightly line my lips and then blend the line a little, not too harsh. We are kind of going for that 2000s ombre effect more than a blended lip liner look. As I have said like a million times by now, you'll see what I mean when I do it. And now, with the newest collection to all 3 billion of my lip products, I have the Isadora Lip Desire Sculpting Lipstick in the shade 28 Bare Beige. It's a tad more pink in person. It looks really gray on camera, but... and usually I just apply it to the middle and then tap around it so it really creates a nice gradient. And I mean, this could be enough, but hello, you. This is little Oliver. Picky. He's so cute. What I was trying to say was that although this is a really nice lip combo, I do usually go over it with a clear gloss. No, I don't. This is nowhere near clear. It has a ton of glitter in it. Oops. What I was trying to say was that although this is already a nice finish to the lips, I love to just put a little Carmax on it, not only to like kind of dilute it, it also blends it, gives it a nice gloss, you know, the whole shebang. So this is the finished makeup look in proper lighting that I would usually see myself in. This is my simple everyday, although I have 3 looks that I constantly switch up, so every third day makeup look. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe it's even helpful. Um, Maybe it could give you inspiration. Please like and subscribe if you want more. And don't forget to comment if you want to, not to sound like every other YouTuber at the end of their videos. But really, thank you for watching. Bye bye!